Welcome back, y'all. We have been very busy. I've been very busy. And this shop is in complete chaos. I'm in the middle of trying to get new things set up and get new old things out, and also trying to complete projects, one of which is a wooden Christmas tree. Yes, it's August. It's 85 degrees outside and it's almost 80 degrees in the shop. And I'm sweating even in here, but we're gonna build a Christmas tree today. So come along and see how you can build a Christmas tree yourself. Fairly simple project, and probably cost you less than 20 bucks to do it. So stick around and see how we do it. All right, I've set up my big purple saw here. Wheeled it out, don't use it very often. You can cut this. This is conduit, electrical conduit. It's really cheap. You can get a 10-foot piece of this stuff for $5. So this is going to be the trunk, or it's the trunk of our Christmas tree. It's pretty heavy duty. I'm gonna mark it at 5 feet. You can mark it at any height you want. You'll see that a 5-foot wooden tree is pretty tall. I'm gonna drop my tape measure on the floor. There we go. Turn that in. Mark it at 5 feet and cut it right there. First thing we're gonna start with is the base or stand for our tree, because we don't want it to wobble and fall over. So we're gonna get a couple pieces of 2x4 and cut them down about 24 inches. Now, you don't have to add this little detail. I like to nip the corners off here just to make it a little more decorative and less of a angle that you could stub your toe on or something. We're going to take these two pieces and make them into an X shape. So first thing we're going to do before we do that is create a half lap. Now I'm going to use my radial arm saw for that because it's really convenient. But you could do this with a hand saw. You could do this with a circular saw, or you could just use a chisel if that's what you prefer. I'm going to cut these half lap joints. I've marked it on each piece. We've marked the top on one piece and the bottom on the other piece. So you can see we've got that there. We're going to make a mark on this board. We'll clean that up with a chisel in just a second. The reason I did that is that I didn't plane these boards down to the same thickness or anything. So if we tried to cut them exactly the same depth, we'll have some wobble space, and we want these to be fairly tight. Well, let's see how those fit. We may have to make another cut here. Oh, that's looking pretty good. Once we clean that out with a chisel, I think we're gonna have a nice tight fit there. Let's do it. It's in there pretty good. Just keep it from wobbling around us. We're just gonna clean the little high points off with our chisel. I kind of like this part. There's something kind of satisfactory about scraping these nice and flat. I'm not trying to make it super smooth in here. Just trying to make it even. not going anywhere. Taking the clamps off, we need to move along. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill some holes. Again, note this is the underside. So we're hiding all these ugly screws. Just gonna run some 1.25" screws in here. Trying to get away from me. There we go. And I'm gonna make some marks. And I think we're actually gonna make like a collar to go around, and it'll help just add some stability. When I made this before, I used steel pipe, and it had threads cut in it, and I just put one of those flanges down, screwed that into the base. But the steel pipe and the flange for the steel pipe is a good bit more expensive, so we're going to use this conduit this time. But if you wanted to, you could use the steel pipe and one of those flanges, and you just got to spend that a little bit extra money, and it makes this project just a little bit easier. We're over here at the drill press, and we're going to drill out a hole to stick our electrical conduit in. I've actually ground this paddle bit down to a little bit less than 1 inch, because the conduit diameter is about a 1/16 under 1 inch. I mean, a 1 inch hole saw or a 1 inch paddle bit is going to get you really close, or a 1 inch Forstner bit. You'll have a little bit of wobble, but what we're going to do in our next step is going to help take some of that wobble out. You don't have to grind yours down. I ground mine down just to make this a more snug fit. How she does there. Yeah, it's still a little bit wobbly, but like I said, we're gonna make another piece, a collar type of piece, and go on here, and that'll help take care of that. Cut out a little square block, mark the center, and we're gonna drill that center out with our Forstner bit, same as we did for with our paddle bit, same as we did for our main stand piece there. There's that. Line it up with that hole a little bit. It's fairly straight. Down. My workbench is covered in dust from a drywall project, and I'm not through with it yet, so I don't feel like cleaning it all the way off. Pulling that out. Oh, it sounds like we might hit the other tree. Screw. Excellent. Now flat down, take our clamps off. The other two sides. Right, now, so this guy doesn't get wobbly, we just got to tighten this up. See, it's not going anywhere now. You can make that as tight as you want. Now we're ready to put the branches on the tree. Hoo-wah! We're making a 5-foot tall tree. We are going to be about 3 feet wide at the bottom, and we'll get smaller, probably about 4 inches at the very top. We're going to cut each strip of wood and 1/2 inch shorter than the strip before, so that we end up with a conical shape or a triangular shape. But if you start at 36 and cut each strip 1/2 inch smaller than the one before, you're going to end up with only a 4-foot tree by the time you get down to about 4 inches. So we're going to add a few extra pieces in there. You need 80 pieces total to get to 5 feet. These are approximately 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to cut a few extra pieces in there, 16 extra pieces, to make sure that we have our 5-foot height. Hopefully this will make sense as we continue to go. All I'm using to make the branches of our Christmas tree are scraps. If you don't have a table saw to rip wider pieces down, you can buy 1x2 at the box stores and then just cut it. You'll see we do that part in a minute to make the shape of the tree. But I'm going to rip these down to about 1.5 inches. Some of them might be wider if they're close, like this one is a little more, it's more like 1 3/4. I'm not going to rip it. We're going to see how many of these pieces we can make. Now we got them all ripped down to roughly 1.5 inches by 3/4. I'm gonna kind of sort them here a little bit, just by length. So that we can go to the next step and cut them down. There it goes again. Alright, about ready to start planning out the branches. Don't have quite, so that's about 4 feet to there. Good deal. A little bit more than. And some of these are wider than 3 feet, which is what we're going to make the bottom of our tree. So that's the next step. I'm going to start cutting these down to make it more Christmas tree shape. You can kind of see. Now, I'm going to cut these on the chop saw. I'm going to cut them down for speed, because I don't have a fancy setup here. Some of y'all might have a fancier miter bench setup, but I've made marks at every 1/2 inch along here, and I'm just going to keep using these marks to cut the lengths of my pieces. Alright, now you start to see it. I've measured this thickness, or height actually, and we might use one of those pieces, but we're at about 58 inches. And if you remember, we buried that, my brain has gone blank. The conduit into that wood about 2 inches. So this is going to bring us pretty close to the top. And if we wanted to attach a topper, we would probably want to maybe even leave off another piece or two, so we have something to attach to. Again, I think I'm going to cut some of those down a little bit. Just through here. I want them all marked in the center. And the next step is going to be drilling a hole that'll fit over our conduit into the center of each one of these. From here on out, you kind of want to make sure you keep your pieces in order so that you don't have to sort them back together again. Then it'll be easy to do your assembly at the end. So here we go. Y'all get the idea. You can be as exact and precise as you want, or do it like I'm doing and just kind of eyeball it. Because the whole idea is that, again, it looks kind of organic. You don't have to be rigid and locked in. Quick tip, pointer. When you get down to the smaller pieces, if you're doing the bigger pieces, it's not a big deal. But when you're doing the smaller pieces, it's not a bad idea to use a clamp to hold them, just to give you a little more leverage. So, see what I've done there? That's going to give me a lot more leverage. Keep my fingers further away. I mean, you can use a drill press vise if you wanna. Here's our Christmas tree base, our trunk. Now we're going to assemble the branches. To make it take up less floor space or something, I don't know. You can just stick it up against the wall. Still looks like a tree, but now it's less. So there you have it. A wooden Christmas tree. Not gonna cost you too much money. If you wanted to go with the steel pipe, the flange, and the steel pipe, it's threaded. It's a little easier to assemble. It's going to be more expensive, but the conduit's $5 for a 10-foot piece. Or you can even buy it in 5-foot pieces. So 2x4 or scraps, or 1x2, and a little bit of time, and you have yourself a very cool Christmas tree. I know it's August. I'm not trying to hurry Christmas. My little girls would if they could. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And please like, share, and subscribe if you feel this was worth your time. Thanks.